Hi, this is Wei here, and this is like end of day 2 for the Bama build. So this is the Bama Scion build. I've made a few updates to improve the defensiveness, as well as like a few quality of life things. Just gonna briefly run through the changes I made, what it's capable of doing, what its damage right now, and generally like whether or not it's a feasible build for most other people. So right now I'm actually doing T16s, doing the same exact thing I was doing with the Inquisitor. Oh, not Inquisitor, the Guardian. So it's just running T16 Alkin Goals, and then juicing using the League mechanic with a bit of Abyss here and then a bit of Expedition. I'm not actually focusing that much on Expedition. I don't think I can clear it as effectively. Oh.
Can I not have but a moment's respite?
Hold up. Would you like to buy a jewel? I've been rolling these jewels because I really wanted to get one for myself, two for myself. I've rolled one that I'm using right now, but the other one's a bit stubborn, so it's been taking, I think, took quite a bit of rolls. I didn't get exactly what I wanted, so I just sold off all the rejects. And interestingly, it's still a profit.
This is your eternity.
Oh wait, I need to fix something later. I overleveled my precision by accident. Where did it go? There was this mob that drops uniques, right? Where the hell did it go? They just teleport out of range. Oh no, he did.
I have nothing more to give.
What an annoying little shit. I guess it's because he keep getting taunted, because I have like quite a bit of taunt on my I have a taunt set up on my totems, so they just get flying around.
Can I not have but a moment's respite?
You're alive. Let's deal.
As you can see, I have to play this a bit more conservative than I would on my Guardian. Guardian has 600,000 EHP. This guy doesn't have anywhere close to that. It's closer to 70k. So yeah, I can't just stand inside and like deal damage. Doesn't work. I also don't have an AG that does like you know, explode. So yeah. Notice the number of minions on the top left?
I have nothing more to give. Can I not have but a moment's respite?
Abyss Depths is a bit risky because the boss can do quite a can actually damage me quite a bit if I don't dodge stuff. Oh my god, why is it lagging? 200 ping. Should really bail out of this. My ISP is routing the packets whenever I change instances to like some godforsaken country, I don't know. But 230 could be routing it to the US. Please don't shotgun me. Thank you. Okay, hopefully I go back to a 0 ping instance, because that was absolutely terrible. Okay, now it's back to normal.
I have nothing more to give. Can I not have but a moment's respite?
My collection is about to time to up.
You notice that there was a T16 boss here? Yep, it died. It melted super fast. Alright. Well, I haven't actually decided to try like rare maps yet, but I might. I do want to improve survivability a bit. I mean, the damage is good for sure. Survivability, unfortunately, is something like that can be worked on. I'm not happy with 70k EHP. It has to be, and that's with molten shell, by the way. It has to be at least 200k EHP with molten shell, 100k without, for me to feel comfortable. But I don't know. I don't know if I can get there with this sort of build. So I'm open to suggestions, but at the same time, it is what it is. So let me talk about what I did to improve the survivability, as well as how I've continued to scale damage. As expected, I actually expected the damage to be decent, but I didn't expect the damage to be this good. So the theory is, when I was looking at, I really want to make a Doomfletch build, right? I didn't want to make a Bama build per se, but I really want to make a Doomfletch build. And for a long while, I knew that Doomfletch was strong in certain ways, because, you know, if Rutu can scale it to like 15 mil to 20 mil damage, with the lousy amounts of flat he has available on a Deadeye, I'm pretty sure you could definitely do better on something like minions. So for a long while, I was playing around with the idea of actually doing this sort of scaling. I knew also it was possible because there were Voidforge minion builds using Chains of Command that did the exact same thing. So whatever fizz you stuff onto your minion that uses weapons like Voidforge, like Doomfletch, you can like scale it quite significantly. So Voidforge gets like a 800% multiplier, effectively a 700% more damage off the flat that you give to the minion. And in this case here, it's a bow, so you can only give a maximum of Doomfletch can only give a maximum of 300% more, which is 400% total of your flat fizz that you have for your minions. And then the downside of bow is that you don't really have much options. For Voidforge, you had Chains of Command for sure, but you also had the new animate weapon of reflection, which allows you to reflect your weapon. You can hold the Voidforge yourself and then reflect the weapon and use it to scale. And you can scale the damage with minion Abyss Jewels. So I really wanted to do this with both, because I realized that it's quite possible to scale this quite significantly with Mirror Arrow and Blink Arrow. And what kind of tipped the scales in my favor was because I realized that there was this new jewel that was really, really strong that hasn't really been, in a sense, studied yet as much. I know Captain Lance did this for percentage life and for stuff like strength stacking, but and then also Palstron is using this for his strength stacker. But when I looked at this, I was like, wait, hold up. You could definitely run minion flat jewels and stack a crap ton of it with this, because and also because you're not restricted by breakpoints. So for most of the normal jewel rolls, like you have 8% multi, 7% life, that sort of thing, the number here there is some sort of like breakpoint, right? Because if it's 7% times 2.49 or 2.45, 2.50, sorry, for example, there is a limit, right? Because the game always rounds down your integers. So if you get like, if you get a multiplier that ends up like midway, so like if you multiply it and it goes up to 22.6, it rounds down to 22, right? So you get wasted you get wasted outcomes. So generally there are breakpoints for this jewel. The advisable one is 143%, 140%, and 150%. 150% obviously expensive, because the 150% rolls on these are like 180 divines at the moment. So I managed to snipe this cheap because it's not any breakpoint, by the way. And I snapped this cheap at about 45 divines. And the reason why I don't really care about breakpoints is because the flat fizz for minion jewels are, even if you're like one off, it doesn't matter, because the size of the number is quite big. It's 36, like 26 to 36. Even if you drop like, so look at the ranges. It goes to 64 to 89. Even if it's 63 to 88, you're not gonna care. It's one physical damage and it's not important, right? So the breakpoints don't matter here so much. And so in this case, you definitely can stack get quite a huge amount of flat fizz as a result of this jewel, this Adorn jewel, and then I was thinking to myself, like, if I really wanted to play this build, what would it have to be? And I did consider Necro at some point, because because you're already using a Doomfletch, so it has to be Elemental, right? And if you're using Elemental, you can go Guardian for sure, but the problem with Guardian, I feel, is that you don't really you're scaling Elemental damage off your auras, and not off less flat fizz. So you have two like separating strategies that have no synergy. So you have to invest in aura effect. Actually, you don't invest in aura effect. You invest in specters, because that's where most of your elemental damage is coming from, and then that's how you scale for Guardian, and then you scale also as well using your elemental summons, the relics. Necro is probably the most logical in a sense, because Necro gives you a more it gives you a toolkit that is more generic, so you don't feel like there are no opposing strategies. You can go like more defensively focused on your ascendancy. You can go more defensively focused on your tree. So anyway, the last I considered was Champion. Champion has the good thing about Champion is that it's really tanky, but I feel that Champion's only strong for like Impale, or maybe even mostly Impale. I don't even think it's good for poison, but I think Champion is great because it has a very strong defensive toolkit, which is what you're looking for. The downside to Champion is most of his offensive auras are mostly physical related, so like War Banner, Pride, and then that kind of means you're going Impale, right? Which doesn't work because I'm running Doomfletch. So after thinking it through, I realized that the best possible outcome for this is likely to be a Scion. That's why I went with Scion instead. And I went with Scion for two reasons, right? Scion has a lot of access to extra passives. So most classes extra passives you have 123 at max. For Scion, you get 128. So more passives means more access to clusters and more access to dual sockets, which means you can stack even more sockets, right? And also Scion, around the Scion wheel, you have a lot of accessible sockets. I'm not gone for them right now because I better alternatives. But if I ever had like 8 extra points, you can just go straight into sockets around the Scion wheel. So that is kind of reason why I went Scion. The other reason for Scion is because Scion has access to Pathfinder, which I think is like one of the strongest defensive ascendancies in the game right now. Of course, you don't have the full Pathfinder, shebang, but you do get 3 extra charges every 3 seconds and 25% chance of flasks used to not consume charges. This is more than enough to keep up a decent flask uptime on single target on bosses. You can tell here I'm actually keeping up my flask for some reason. It's a bit, and also so because definitely Pathfinder will give me the defensive options that I need. I can also spec into other things on the top side for offensiveness. In this case, I went for Occultist for 2 reasons. Extra Curse is very good for this build. Increased effect of Curse is also very good for this build. And cannot be stunned while I have Energy Shield is very nice because I technically have Eldritch Battery with Replica Sorrow of the Divine. So that makes me technically stun immune as long as this is up. I have no MOM, so I will never lose this Energy Shield. And with a Flask and Sorrow Divine, I will always have this up because I can just tap it once, tap it once and it goes straight to full. Okay, so let's talk about how many Abyss Jewel sockets I'm scaling. So right now I have 8 Abyss Jewels. I tried a 9 setup, which is to also absorb this cluster over here. Problem with that is that you're kind of spread thin over the tree. So 3 cluster setups are generally like very sparse on everything in between. And that's not necessarily good because there are very good nodes in between that you want to go for. You end up also having like suboptimal life. At some point I was like at 70% life, which I wasn't comfortable with because my life was like only 3.1k or something. So I've gone away from an additional cluster, moved to this sort of setup, managed to get like other dual socket locations, and I realized that at the most I'm losing like 1 extra dual socket, so that's from a dual socket count of 9 to like 8. So 8 Abyss Jewels, 8 Magic Abyss Jewels. And then I'm getting quite a bit more life notes. So my life now is at 129% or something like that. Which I think it's like still like acceptable. I'm level 93, still have like 5 more levels than 98 or 99, which means I still have points I can put into like class into life nodes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so there's like 5 more like life nodes I can get. So it's 25% more life I can get, which is 150+%, and I think that's acceptable. I did okay. So that's with like strategy or point allocations. Okay, let me. Oh man, my thoughts are all over the place, but never mind. Let's just go through this. So for flat physical damage, so for the magic jewels, I would say that the ideal is actually 20% increased damage after you use the minuscule, as well as T1 flat fizz. So that's flaring for minions. Problem with that is extremely rare roll. Like you'll probably waste upwards of 20 to 30,000 alterations to get like maybe 4 or 5 of them. I think it's extremely rare, and then you're likely to just break them as well. So like I don't know, 1 in 5 maybe just turns them into rares when you vial them. So I've lost quite a bit of them through that. I've also because I've given up, I have too many of them, and I at that point didn't I have enough jewels. As long as I got a T1 fizz or and a usable like suffix, I would just vial it, right? So in this case I got these, right? So these had double res and like T1 fizz. I just vial that. Here single res with T1 fizz, I just vial that, and it's still useful. Down here I had like minion increased damage with T2. I would consider also as viable, so I vowed that as well. Minion life. This is I think something I bought. I didn't roll this one. I bought off the side trades. I for like 20C or something. So it's worth just sacrificing it and like seeing if you can get a decent roll out of that. So that's most of the jewels that are in question. Oh yeah, attack speed. Actually, attack speed is not so good. I might want to replace this, but it does give 40% attack speed, which is pretty insane. Because this is a perfect like attack speed roll. Is it 6%? Yeah. Yeah, and this one also is a T2 fizz and like increased damage when you use a minuscule. So yeah, that's pretty much all the jewels. Okay, let's talk about the Atlas tree strategy. The passive tree strategy. So for Ascendant, I'm pathing here to get the Occultist, pathing here to get Pathfinder, and then I path here to get the start from Pathfinder side. This allows me to skip all the in-between nodes, which is not necessarily a good thing because you definitely want the in-between nodes if you're going suppression. Unfortunately, I haven't found a way to squeeze in suppression, but if I do ever find a way to squeeze in suppression, I'll be pathing through here because then I can get Mage Bane as well as the suppression nodes here. Unfortunately, I haven't actually figured that out, so this has not been done. I've just done the easy way out, which is this. I did consider at some point it will need some form of sacrifice in terms of damage somewhere, and then I go for the suppression nodes here. And with the suppression nodes here, this is like 8 times 3, so 24 plus 15, that's like 40%. This is 18, so 60, 58, and this is like 12 on average, so that's 70%. So like that, you have 70% suppression, and all I need is 2 slots. Actually, all I need is 1 slot per se. The glove can go for suppression on the implicit, and then a suppression on the suffix. And then I can just craft a suppression roll on this. So I have to solve resistances if I want to go that route and figure out how many passives I want to sacrifice. But definitely I can go suppression. It's just it's not something I'm thinking of right now. I think there's other problems to solve. I think, well, I've kind of solved all the other problems like res and all that, but I mean, definitely we'll consider this like down the road. Okay, yeah. And then so you when you start from Scion tree, you're gonna path through here because the resistances here are pretty good. Evasion, rating, and armor are good as well because I have both grace and determination. Socket here, obviously, as many sockets as you can get, as long as it takes you less than 4 points or 3 points to get to a socket, you will want to go for that. So that's why this the socket being allocated here. Pop through here to get the life nodes, pretty helpful because the life nodes here are pretty strong. Pop up to here, what you're getting is the Glorious Vanity Jewel for Zebakwa. Since I'm running 4th Vow, Zebakwa is extremely helpful because it splits half my elemental to chaos, and that kind of chaos that it is split to has armor applied to it. So this increases my tankiness quite a bit for elemental. Down here, Divine Flesh, obviously, yeah. I've gone for the number 3923, mainly because I'm not going for like, I'm not trying to path to get extra nodes. I'm pretty sure there is a better one that gives you like aura effect here, but I don't think it's as required for me because all my auras are pretty defensive and they don't really add much. They're not like extremely important defensive wise for me, so I don't really want to go for those. I've gone for this instead, which gives me ability access to 1 point hierarchy nodes. So this is 20% maximum life, 33% damage, which I think is very good value, right? Total of 40% stats for your minions is like, it's almost like a ring roll each. So I've gone for these two. Pop up here, you want the life node as well as the cost reduction. This is extremely helpful for reducing the cost of your skills as well as giving you extra life. Path up here, the first cluster you get, this is a pretty nice cluster. I rolled this myself. FYI, it's easier, it's cheaper just to buy the bases and then use not chaos rolls, use elk and scours. Just buy elk and scours with divines in bulk and just roll them yourself. Whatever, you occasionally get like pretty decent rolls that you won't care about that you can sell, which I've been doing, and I actually made a profit this way. It cost me like maybe 2 divines for all the scours and elks I needed, and the bases are 60c each, and I've already sold like 3 of them for like 2 divines, 3 divines each, so I've already made like an insane profit and still gotten the one I needed, so that's great. I haven't done that for the other cluster, unfortunately, because it's a pain in the ass to sit here and roll it 100 times. All right, so yeah, definitely. Oh, is this another one I'm selling? Oh no, it's medium. Okay, that's for something else. Yeah, I'm not making a video just solely to make a video. I'm also playing the game, so if you don't like me trading, I'm sorry. I need the currency, man. Oh, that's a nice one. Okay, so yeah, managed to craft this cluster. Really good. I think it marginally beats out Renewal and Feasting Fiends cluster. What it really beats it out in is actually the suffixes. So you can get unfortunately this is you can get 1 extra prefix and suffix with the 35% increased effect. Unfortunately the prefix here is kind of crap. Mana is terrible. If this was life or ES, I would be happier. Maybe even armor. But the chaos resistance is really helpful for getting me capped chaos res. I actually can like respec a bit because I have quite a bit of chaos res. As in terms of like crafting suffixes for gear. So yeah, this is a medium. Actually, I went without this for a while, but I would say this is 100% required. Minions created recently cannot be damaged. This is extremely helpful in keeping your minions alive, your clones alive, especially on bosses that have very powerful AoE attacks. So definitely go for Blessed, at least 1 Blessed Rebirth. Renewal is just damage, right? So socket here is another magic jewel. Path here you get life. Path here socket obviously. Actually this is a pretty weak socket. I might need to replace this. Yeah, this is a really weak socket, come to think of it. The good thing about this though is that it has 9% minion accuracy on the implicit. Maybe that's the reason why I kept it. Anyway, yeah. Path here, these are also like the ideal, so you go for these anyway. Attack speed and minion damage. Up here, Ancestral Bond. I'll explain why Ancestral Bond is required, but it's mostly to get your minion count up. Path here, you get the reservation clusters, reservation notables. This is like one of the strongest reservation notables in the game, so definitely get those. Path here, you get life and ES. Here for maximum life mastery. Down here, you want spiritual command. This is to improve your attack speed. It's mostly for blink arrow. All right. If you don't have this, your attack time is pretty bad, which doesn't give you the opportunity to spam this. So right now, I want to show you. I can literally just blink across the map because my cooldowns and my attack speed is just seamless, right? And some maps, if I just want to elk and go and not care about like stuff in between and just run straight to the boss, I can do that. So this is a pretty mobile build for that reason, even with the replica stampede, alright? No, even with the stampede, which is unfortunately limiting my movement speed. I don't have quicksilver, but this combo is still very mobile. And along with like a flame dash. Okay. So yeah, definitely go for spiritual command. Path here, you're getting the life notes for Inquisitor. This is also really strong. Same as this node here. Actually, it's better than this node here. So yeah, get this node here. Path here, you definitely want these. These are duration of your minions, as well as minion damage, and the socket. So yeah, definitely get these because you're gonna path here to get the socket anyway. It's 3 points, correct? And then you get this additional. So this is like really good. So that covers the left side of the tree. On the right side, from the Pathfinder or from the Ranger, is this. You want the auras here. This is like, I think it's probably the second strongest set of aura cluster notables in the game. So it will first would be, this is the strongest, this is the second strongest. So definitely path through here. Get these. You get the socket here, obviously. In this case, I don't have a magic jewel, Abyss jewel. I have a Watcher's Eye. And the reason being is cooldown recovery rate of movement skills used while affected by haste is extremely good quality of life. Let me show you. If I take this out, this goes to 0.79. There's a delay waiting for this thing to come back, or longer delay waiting for this thing to come back. My character's just standing there. It's not as seamless. So yeah, that's the reason why I've gone for this instead of a additional magic. The other reason as well is you can also get other stuff, like, so in this case I have Vitality Flask, which are extremely helpful because it ramps up the strength of this life flask over here. And it also means like I can get pretty good heals out of it. No, I'm not gonna sell this guy. He's making me work too hard. Just tell me exactly what you want. So pop up here, getting the life notes here. These are also pretty strong life notes because they also give you evasion. You path here, you get the bow nodes. The first two nodes are actually garbage. They don't do anything for you. But down here, the third node is actually kind of helpful because it does give you skill effect duration. That affects your minion duration as well. Down here, you get the blink arrow and mirror arrow have a 100% increased cooldown recovery rate. This is to improve your recovery rate even further, so you can like have very seamless button presses. Pop up here, you want this flask nodes. These are to boost your Pathfinder flasking so that you have like decent uptime on your flask. Reduce flask charges used, increase flask charges gained. Unfortunately, you don't do any critical strikes, so yeah. Flask applied to you have 5% increased effect. Those are pretty helpful. So like you have 20% increased flask charges gained and 10% reduced flask charges used. So definitely go for these. You path here, you get the cluster jewel here. In this case, I have a normal one, so this is renewal with feasting. So obviously magic jewels in the socket. Path down here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 points into a jewel socket. I would actually also suggest that, I mean, there's an alternative here, so let me just unspec. Did my ping go up? What the hell? Yeah, my ping went up again. That's unfortunate. So I was experimenting with this. I don't think I need the dex. My experimentation with this is to path here eventually when I want to go for suppression nodes. But actually down here will be better because obviously attack speed is way more helpful than 30 dex or something. Yeah, so this would how it looks like. It would be how it looks like. Yeah, so that's pretty much the passive tree. I think it's as efficient as it can make it. I generally try to push for efficiency within the tree itself. But definitely I'll have to redo this once I get access to suppression, which means I get better gloves, and somehow manage to find another like 30-40 suppression here. Uh, Maybe even if I get a suppression Watcher's Eye, I don't know. Also possible, but it'll be extremely hard to get a suppression Watcher's Eye with like cooldown recovery and another Grace mod. It's just generally going to be extremely expensive. Let's talk about gearing right now. For both, definitely you want to go for Doomfletch. You don't have to go for double corrupted and implicits. I just generally went with these because I thought they were ideal. This is based any attack speed is a multiplier into your damage because it means your clones attack faster. It means your totems attack faster. Crit chance is the same thing. It applies to your base, so therefore it's always advised. I think there are alternatives as well. You can go for stuff like momentum or faster projectiles, but I do feel that because only like one set of attack skills are going to be in the bow and the other is going to be in like your helm, I don't think that's ideal. I think attack speed and crit chance is probably the best. Helm is obviously this is one of those that I sniped while I was gearing for my Guardian. So this has concentrated effect, minion damage, hypothermia, and more elemental damage. So that's a 4 additional sockets. So it's an 8 link total for damage for Blink Arrow. So this only works with Blink Arrow bombarding because bombarding has rain of arrows and rain arrows has an AoE, but normally Blink Arrow does not have anything that scales with concentrated effect, so this only works for that reason. So yeah, Blink Arrow is here. Yeah, this is 12 divines, but I'm pretty sure you can't find this. Like, it's extremely hard to craft for this yourself. Most of the time you find these because they are like rejects for someone else, like someone's trying to craft for a minion helm. They landed a roll like this and they're like, this is not what I'm looking for. I want the +2 minions, but it's still something that's worth of value because someone will want this, so they sold it on the market. This guy put it up for 12 divs because he wanted the cash immediately, so I got it for 12. Ashes and Stars, mostly for quality on their skill gems, for both Blink Arrow and Mirror Arrow. As you can tell here, the quality can go up to 100% increased core recovery rate here. And for this one, normal Mirror Arrow, it goes up to 155 or 150 because of this. This is 2123. I should get this 2123 actually. That would be pretty fun. I wonder if there's one on the market. Anyway, so quality on all your skill gems is very helpful. You have a lot of skills: Hydrosphere, Sniper's Mark, Spirit Offering, Flame Dash, Dread Banner, all the auras. So you're getting quality on all these as well. I'm definitely looking for a way to stuff in a Spectre setup, a Spectre and AG setup. But for now, I don't have the sockets. I have to figure out what I want to drop because I can't have everything, right? The only way there's one way to get everything, but that requires me to sacrifice a ring slot for something like was a Hungry Loop? I can't remember. Yeah, that's only one alternative, but I will lose a lot of resistances and I will lose life, so not sure if that's feasible. Chest armor is a 4-file. This was 9 divs. I think it was kind of cheap, so +1 socket gems is really strong. I can put minion gems in here. I can put specters here and AG here as well. I'll put Empower, and then they'll get pretty high amounts of levels, and they should be pretty tanky as a result of that. Wait, hold up, let me see what's 10 divs. No, I'm not buying that, although that's is rolls I want, and I might forget it. I'm not paying 10 divs for a belt. Anyway, yeah, so socket of gems is great because you can put your minion setup here, so if I do ever go for specters or AG, I can put them there. But right now what it's doing is it's for my auras, so precision, determination, grace, vitality, and haste. And then with an enlightened 3, I think enlightened 3 is relatively cheap. It's being boosted to 4 because of the +1 all gems. +1 and maximum res is obviously very good, so yeah, it helps you boost up your chaos res as well as your early res, so it helps you be more tanky. Rings pretty much just resistances and life. I haven't really agonized about this at all. I've just bought whatever's cheapest on the market that meets my needs. This is actually from my other character because I figured that, oh wow, it actually fits here and I don't lose any resistors, so I might as well just bring it over. So that's what I did. So this is for my Guardian. Gloves are also for my Guardian as well. I'm not gonna make new gloves here because it's just way too expensive to make these exact same gloves again. But you know, I will start thinking of whether I want to make a glove for this that has suppression, and then start pivoting to a suppression route. But for now, I haven't actually thought about it yet. I haven't really agonized about it yet. Belt is pretty straightforward. I've not gone for a Darkness and Throne here for a particular reason, because I need the Flask effect charges gain in order to have permanent Flask uptime, and Flasks are way more important than just extra stats and more damage. And I don't need the damage on the Darkness and Throne because I'm getting them off magic jewels and the passive tree. So unlike most minion builds where you get a lot of damage off this, my priorities have shifted. I'm getting damage off the passive tree, I'm getting defenses from my gear. So Flask charges gain are extremely important. Since increased fast life recovery rate is never valued, people don't like it. It's like considered a cheap thing. I tried to pick up any belt with this. So this belt was like, I don't know, I think ADC? Yeah. I do definitely need a better one, but this is ADC for now. If I can get one with a higher roll for increased flash charges gain, that'd be great. If I get one with suffix that reduce flash charges used, that'll be also great. But you know, this is what it is. You know, it's still good as it is. Socket of Gem here is an Abyss with life, a chance to avoid being poisoned. I do have 100% by the way because of some implicit on one of my magic jewels that gives me 60. So physical damage T1, you obviously want that. And the last one is 6% chance to blind or hit with attacks. You want that actually, you really want blind. There's no other ways to scale minion blind except for Abyss jewels, I think. Or rather gem sockets, and you're not going to waste a gem socket on this. 6% chance to blind hit is extremely important, I feel, for BAMA, like Blink Arrow Mirror, because their accuracy is like absolutely trash. Like they have terrible accuracy on Blink Arrow Mirror. And even if you get like accuracy on a quiver, even if you get like precision max level 20, even if you allocate like, I don't know, 10 points worth of nodes for accuracy on your 3, you're still gonna be like deficit in accuracy, maybe like slightly, right? And so like personally, my solution to that problem is to make sure enemies are blinded. If they are blinded, they have less evasion rating, so you'll be able to hit them more. They're more likely to be able to hit them. They also have less accuracy, so if you are scaling evasion through grace, you're going to be more tanky. So definitely blind on hit. Have I considered taunt on hit? Yes, but the problem with taunt on hit is it doesn't work with Blessed Rebirth because they can't be damaged, so you cannot taunt with them. So yeah, that's why blind is here. Boots is going to be the Stampede, so this is not the replica version, this is the normal version. Increased cooldown recovery rate of travel skills, 80% is the max roll. Why do you want this? The reason why you want this is because you, as I mentioned before, any amount of cooldown recovery and movement skills is going to be welcome because it makes your attack and blink arrow more seamless.
Can I not have but a moment's respite? I have nothing.
Any quality of life for this build is good. I don't like slow attacks and I don't like slow cooldowns because I think it hurts the build, right? I think it hurts your damage, I think it hurts your mobility, and yeah, definitely. So therefore I've gone for these. I think they are really good for that reason. Move speed 150% of its base value is also pretty okay because that means you can't walk into chill ground and like get stuck or something like that. I do need some way to avoid getting frozen, so I'm thinking of going here and going for Merveil the Returned and get 100% chance to avoid being frozen. But for now this will do. This is okay. What else have I covered? Oh yeah, I haven't covered the quiver yet. So quiver is this. I'm not sure about this, right? This is something I have no knowledge about. I would think point blank works as long as your quiver has it. I would think point blank works with Bama as long as your quiver has it, because even though your minions don't have a passive 3, the point blank bonus should also apply. Yeah, so I've gone for look for quivers that have this point blank bonus, and I found this one that had like max life, accuracy, of course 100%. You want accuracy here. Max life is just nice for you, not really for the minion, and increased damage with both skills. So I mean, I was quite happy with this quiver. This was like 100C or something like that. It was out for like 3 days and nobody wanted it. I mean, not many builds will want this kind of quiver. Yeah. So what else is there? What else do I want to cover? Oh, flask, yeah. So for flask, this is one of the spare flasks I made when I was doing my guardian. I ended up not using this flask, so this is a instant flask basically. Oh, this guy again. Okay, this is an instant flask basically, and what it does is because I have a lot of flask gain, because I have Pathfinder nodes and all that, I can sometimes just sit there and just chug flasks. So I'm taking lots of damage. I can just sit there and just chug them as I'm clearing the map. They refill super fast, and then they basically pop me the full every time I press the button. So this is like super good. I also refuse my mana to full because of ES and Eldritch Battery of Replica Sorrow. Jade Flask for evasion, obviously. Taste of Hate is for Fizz taken as cold. For more tankiness, this is actually from my Guardian. I didn't buy a separate one because it's too expensive. Replica Sorrow Divine, really strong, quite cheap as well, for 49%. Granite Flask is just for armor. Pretty self-explanatory. All of the flasks I use when charges reach full, except for the life flask, which I have to press manually. Yeah, that's pretty much it about it. Oh yeah, mirror arrow mechanics. Okay, so you notice that I'm using the transfigure version for blink arrow, but I'm using the normal version for mirror arrow. Let me explain why. I think it's important. Blink arrow is basically your clear skill. This is what helps you to go through your maps quickly, because you're basically blinking from where you're basically, instead of walking, you're blinking, right? So let's look at it from perspective. This is your mobility skill, but it's also a mobility skill that has a minion that does AoE damage. So it is just not only a mobility skill, it's also your clear skill. So this is very helpful quality of life. You basically just press blink arrow the entire time throughout your maps, and you flame dash around as well, and that helps you like go through it pretty quickly. For single target, blink arrow bombarding clones is kind of meh, and it's kind of meh for kind of two reasons. I mean, rain of arrows is like definitely a strong skill for sure, probably better than the normal basic attack. But the issue with blink arrow bombarding clones is that you're limited to 3 clones, which is absolute dog shit. Right, 3 clones, like, what does that do? It's like, I mean, anyway, I mean, you can definitely build around it. You can definitely scale these 3 clones to the point where they do enough damage. But I'm pretty sure every Bama build right now has like maybe 10 mil damage on this alone, and they haven't had a second setup. And I find that a bit weird. Okay, so like I feel like this build concept is a hybrid. It's not just a minion build, it's also a bow build. Right? You have to look at it with that kind of mentality, because you know how bow builds scale damage? They usually have one attack skill, correct? And that they use with the character cast. They either mana forge a second set of attack skills, or they ballista it, right? Ballistas are extremely common like part of like bow builds, right? In fact, almost always you see in the bow build, you have 6 link in the chest for damage, 6 link in the bow for damage. I brought that strategy over to here, right? So the blink arrow setup is for clear. This is for you to move across the maps quickly, but when you actually need to hit very hard, you're going to start spamming your totems. Okay, so why do you go for totems? And totems are unique, I think. I haven't, so take it with a grain of salt. I've only played this for 2 days. I have no experience with Bama. I have looked at other content creators stuff, so maybe I have some basis of truth here. But what I've noticed is ballista totems have a very unique interaction with mirror arrow clones or blink arrow clones, and that is ballista totems do this. They have, each ballista totem has its own internal cooldown for blink arrow, mirror arrow. So right now, my cast of blink arrow is limited by my cooldown rate, correct? If it's off cooldown, I can only cast it when it's off cooldown. Before it's off cooldown, I can't cast it, right? So that means I'm limited to 1 every like, what was it, 0.77 seconds or 0.71 seconds. So I'm limited to 1 blink arrow every 0.7 seconds, and I can summon only 1 clone every 0.7 seconds. This doesn't really matter so much for this particular, oh wait, hold up, money. Alright, this doesn't matter so much for blink arrow bombarding clones, because you're limited to 3 anyway. Because you're limited to 3, it doesn't really matter if you can like spam more, right? But when it comes to the normal ones, there's no limit. There is no limit to how many mirror arrow clones you can summon. And in fact, what MP did, I think, was it 2 leagues ago? I can't remember. Is this 20C? It's my math bad or is this math bad? Exalt's odds 10C, right? 1.2 is... I mean, it's gonna be a discount for him, but... whatever, dude. Okay. Okay, so yeah, back to this, back to the ballista totem setup. So what I've noticed is, because MP did a video, right, where he summoned like 1,000 bloody clones in a single map, and what he was using was totems. So what that kind of verifies for me is that every single totem has its own internal cooldown for mirror arrow. In this case, I'm using mirror arrow, so let's say mirror arrow. And that mirror arrow cooldown that you have here, so it's 0.62 seconds, correct, is going to be available for each individual totem. And so if you have duration, for example, that allows you to stack up. So imagine if, let's say, for example, you had 0.60 attack time with 0.62 cooldown, as well as the current duration I have here. At most, I think if I were to cast this myself, I would be able to get out maybe 6 or 7 clones, correct? But because I have up to a maximum of 5 totems, and each of them have their own internal cooldowns, each of them can summon their own set of clones, you multiply that 5 with the max count of 7 or 8. So you can get up to 40 plus, even 50 plus clones on the map. And it's pretty absurd. I've seen it before. I think in the map showcase I did earlier, you saw like 30 clones simultaneously. And they literally obliterate everything, right? Because 30 clones, each clone is probably like 1 million damage. So 30 clones is like 30 million damage. I've not seen any content creator or build maker do this. I'm not this. So this is the thing as well. I may be wrong here, right? Like actually, like you can create 40 clones, but they all do like you only do like 5 clones worth of damage. Maybe that's the case. You know, the rest of them don't actually do anything. That's quite possible. But the other alternative is that this actually does work, and you're actually summoning 40 clones simultaneously, doing 1 million damage each, and basically have 40 million damage just off this bloody 6-link. So yeah, so this is the tech I think that is kind of interesting here. So ballista totem, okay, so hold up, this is the best part. You only need a ballista totem, right? You don't need anything else. You're not going focus ballistas. You're literally getting nothing else. It's just ballista totem, and the rest are just damage nodes. So you're sacrificing one socket for an insane multiplier, right? This is a 5 times so it's extra 2, right? So your normal totem count is 2, I believe, is it? And then this is, let me just check.
Can I not have but a moment's respite?
3, 4, 5. Okay, so your normal count is 2, and then you have 2 more from this, so that's 4. So you've literally just doubled the amount of clones you can summon, and then you can also get like additional like from watchtowers. So that's another 1 more. So yeah, for just this one gem alone, and you have like an insane damage multiplier on this. It's like, it's crazy. So for sure, I think this hasn't really been thought about. But I'm 100% like convinced that this is like what makes the damage here insane. I'll be frank, the damage on this character is actually higher than that of my Guardian, which is saying something, right? The Guardian actually had 30 mil, so um, I'm gonna definitely want to scale this and keep working at it to build a more complete character. Yeah, let me think what else. Oh yeah, and also because of totems, you can scale totem charms. Let me show you some of the totem charms I have. Banner skills have no reservation. 3% of hits taken from your nearest totem life before you, so that's 3% damage mitigation. While you're at least 5 allies, okay, this is just for onslaught. Totems taunt enemies around them for 2 seconds when summoned. This is just for to peel aggro off of you. And the last one's going to be this. When I ever get the boss, hexes can approve hex for enemies, obviously, and 3% of damage on hits taken from nearest totem life before you. So another 3% mitigation. That's 6% total mitigation. Might think of replacing some of these, but I think this is as good as it gets. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's all there is. Hope this is helpful. If you ever do want to play this build, do take note it does need considerable amounts of investment to actually start. Dawn Jewel, you can get 143%, definitely pretty cheap. Actually, you can get anything, like, to be frank. You're using, you don't have any breakpoints, so you can get like 120, 130% and start. I think the T1 jewels are a pain to do, but you can craft them definitely. Doomfletch is cheap. Probably this helm and the ashes is expensive, but the rest are pretty attainable for the average player. You may not have the defenses I have, while still having the same damage, but I think I would say this build is pretty accomplishable for an average player, like for about maybe 50 divines. Yeah, but right now what I have here is like almost close to 100, I think. Actually, no, it's slightly under 100, maybe 80. 75, 80 divines. Okay. Hope this is helpful. I'm just using it as a build guide. I'll definitely be making more videos. The problem I have right now is my bloody Singaporean ISP is routing my packets to God knows where. It's 235 ping on some instances, on some maps. It's absolutely incorrigible. I have no idea what the hell they're doing. But yeah, I will not be playing as much when this shit happens because it's extremely hard to level. I'm just gonna lock in place and die to some stupid thing. But yeah, well, hope you enjoyed this build. See you. Bye. I'm out.